October 28th, council meeting order. Clerk, please call roll.
Christine. Here. Jim.
Here.
Forrest.
Here.
Lisa. Here. Marie. Here. Bryce.
Here.
Those who are able, you can stand and join me.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. First on the agenda, do we have a motion to act on the minutes from last month? So moved.
Second.
Any questions? All right, if not, clerk, please call the roll.
Jim.
Aye.
Bryce.
Aye.
Christine. Aye. Forrest.
Aye.
Lisa. Aye. Marie. Aye.
All right, Cody, do we have any public?
I don't believe so.
All right. Next, moving on to Personnel and Finance Committee report. Forrest.
Personnel Finance Committee met October 15th, 6 o'clock. Brownie Baines not present, Schmidt's absent. Motion to approve our minutes for August and September passed. Motion to approve the invoice change passed. It's on our agenda for tonight. Discussion for the clerk of court compensation and discussion regarding ordinance 136-5 for longevity bonus was held. We had a motion to approve the Humane Society contract on our agenda for tonight. Motion to approve disposal of equipment for DPW wastewater, police and fire departments. It's also on our agenda tonight. We had no motion to approve our bills, and we start our next meeting for Tuesday, November 18th at 6 p.m. And that might change due to availability for community members. I'll let you know.
Roger that. All right, Jim, Public Works and Development.
Public Works and Development Committee meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by Chairperson Bansma. Members present, Bansma, Fensky, and Schmitz. Members absent, none. Motion by Schmitz, second by Bansma to approve September 9th, 2025 minutes. All voting aye, motion carried. Public appearances, none. Cody Vanderhyde, Director of Public Works Utilities, provided a monthly update on the DPW and water wastewater departments. Vanderhyde gave an update on East Walnut Street construction project. Discussion on the inspection of DPW equipment. Discussion on the DPW 2026 budget. Set the next meeting date for Thursday, November 6, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. at DPW conference room. Motion by Bansma, second by Fensky to adjourn. All voting aye. The meeting adjourned at 7:38 p.m.
Thanks, Jim. Next, we have Public Safety, Marie.
Public Safety Committee met October 14th. Members present, Fensky and Frami. Members absent, Remy. We had a motion to approve the minutes. We had a resident join to talk about bus stop safety and crossing guards. We discussed pedestrian safety, bus stop safety, crossing guards. Police Chief Birkin provided a monthly update. We had a discussion on flat cameras and 2026 Police Department budget items. Emergency Management and Fire Department didn't have an update. Discussion on electric devices in Horicon. We made a motion to approve 2-year operator license for Thomas Doherty that we all voted nay and motion did fail. And then we had another 1-year operator license approval for 2 people that passed. Next meeting, November 11th at 6 o'clock, Public Safety Building. Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Parks and Rec, Bryce.
Park and Rec was called to order at 6 p.m. by Chairperson Remy. Present was Remy Arnton Mookie. Absent was Poole and Sullivan. The public appearance included Rossing sharing his updates on the bike program. And there were 73 different bike repairs throughout the season. There was a parks report, rec report, and aquatic center report given. There was also one in front of Horicon Parks. We discussed the proposed toy box policy with input from Linda and Mike Kane. There was a motion to approve that policy pending the changes. It's on your agenda tonight. We discussed the 2026 budget for the parks and set next meeting for Monday, November 10th, 2024, 6 p.m. DPW conference room. We adjourned at 6 p.m.
Thank you. Plan Commission, Lisa.
We did not have a meeting.
Doesn't look like we have any here to deliver the library report. We brought Warner in today. You want to give an emergency management report, please?
Yeah, I have something for the health enforcement for the installation.
Awesome. Sir,
That's the, in a check form reimbursement for our cleanup costs after the May 15th tornado. 14,000, what's the number on there, Josh?
14,639.20.
28, right.
do you want to explain kind of the process, please?
Oh, God.
I know we put in a lot of work.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for this. If you could, I know what you did, Cody know what you did. I don't know if everybody knows what you did and how much work you put in to try to get us this reimbursement. So it'd be great if everyone could hear.
Okay. Well, it was decided that we wanted to try to get some reimbursement from the Wisconsin Disaster Relief Fund. We had to gather all the data involved with what the cleanup costs were. And that's where Cody played a key role there because he helped try to keep track of who was working in the cleanup, what kind of equipment was being used, how many hours they worked. And that involved not only to clean up that riverbed, but it was to clean up throughout the city, picking up brush and things like that. And I don't remember if there was other places we had to clean up, but those were the two big ones. So then I was given a application to access on the Wisconsin Emergency Management website to start entering this data. And first of all, we had to determine whether the cost that we incurred was greater than a threshold that the state has established. And that's like $3.62 or something like that per capita in the city, which came out to like $17,000. And the initial calculation of what we invested was over $19,000. So knowing that we met that threshold, then I started collecting data, and Cody and I don't know how many hours we spent refining the information that he had. And then I had to start entering that in, and there was a time frame in which we had to get that in. And I remember spending 4 straight days down here over Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to get it in on time. Had to be in on submitted on a Tuesday. So and then there was a review, and it came back that I missed some info, or they wanted some additional information, and that was provided to them. And then they said, you're missing an invoice, and that was for all the brush grinding that took place. And this was back in September, early September, like very late August, they asked for that invoice. And I said, Cody, do you have that? He goes, they haven't sent it yet. So anyway, he called them, and then they sent it to him. I copied it, downloaded it into the database. The database is not overly friendly for a first-time user. And I really had to muddle through that, and I know Josh helped me out a little bit because his mind is in tune with how emergency management down there works. So he helped me out in a couple of areas there where I got stuck on. So then I went through a review down at the Wisconsin Emergency Management, and then they asked me to go in and do some online signing of some documents. And from there, when Josh was with me when I did that, it looked like that they had approved our application. So the exact amount wasn't, I don't know if that was on there yet or not, but what the state did was they said that we had documented $19,800 worth of cleanup costs, and they paid 70%, or we got reimbursed 70% of that. They said that this was the city, or 30% was the city's share, 70% the state paid the rest. So now we finally got a check. So that was from way back in June, or early June, when that was submitted to them.
And it's still fast for them, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, I know that I saw an email early last week where the assistant EM director at the county reached out to Juno and Mabel asking if they had heard anything. And I don't know if she got a response from that or not. I was busy all day and I didn't get a chance to email them to find out if they had any word back from the state. So anyway.
Does anyone have any questions for Warner? Just for a little background, on May 15th, when we had those tornadoes, Cody and I were still running through the parks at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Warner was down at Riverbend with a light, with a camera, documenting all that stuff. You know, May 15th was awful. And we're lucky that we have invested in emergency management because he was out there, all around town, not only helping us, be able to, apply for something like this, but, the help to document what happened all throughout the city was probably very valuable for insurance adjusters and WEM and the county. Our guys, they were concentrating on what's going here, but a lot of our crew was either helping Mabel or helping Juno. So we made really good to do, especially on that first Friday, next day, when we're all out there. And thank you for putting in that extra, way above and beyond extra effort. This is great, and I think that makes it worth it. So thank you.
The other, did you want me to update them on that like last tabletop we did?
Yes.
September 16th, we did another tabletop, keeping up with doing 2 a year. And this one was an active shooter event at the school. And we had representatives from the school there, law enforcement, fire, EMS, Dodge County Dispatch. There was a deputy there that gets involved in training schools in the procedures they should follow in the event of an active shooter drill. I'm not sure if I can remember everybody that was there. But anyway, it was necessary subject matter experts were there. So I write up a script ahead of time of the sequence of events. And I got to about the third step, and we wouldn't wipe off the script. The way it was there was an active shooter at the time the school opens. So there's a lot of traffic, a lot of people, a lot of parents running around, things like that. An active shooter got off the bus, started shooting people, and then went to hide in the music room. The school contacted 911, and 911 dispatcher explained what they go through. Law enforcement went out. In this case, it was Aaron, Grayson, and who was the third guy? I can't remember.
Todd or Nick?
I don't remember. No, it wasn't Todd.
It was Sam.
Sam?
Sam.
Oh, yeah, Sam.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam. So they said, yeah, we would go in there, we would target him. And I said, you now have him cornered in the music room. And the next step, I said, okay, he claims that he's got a bomb and he's going to set it off if the cops come in. Well, what I expected was that the cops would hold off, try to get an evacuation of the school. And their response is, no, we go right in to neutralize the shooter. And that took me by surprise. And so then we would gear all off script. But it didn't matter in that we got the basic procedures covered. And it developed into a lot of conversation about what the services would do, where they would go, things like that. However, when I look back on it, I think there were a lot of topics that we didn't cover. And I don't know if I mentioned this to you earlier, Aaron, but I think I'd like to redo this and focus on some of those areas that we didn't cover next fall. So there are several things that I need to follow up on. One is law enforcement has great difficulty transmitting on their radios from within the school. If they want to contact the sheriff's department, dispatch managers, it's squelch. They hear no voice, nothing. The building is constructed with the materials. It just does not allow the radio transmissions to go through the material. There is some testing that might go on as far as trying to see if something could be bounced off an antenna here at City Hall that would make it over there, but then I don't believe that's been tried yet. Okay. The other one was, it was interesting to learn that Dodge County Dispatch, with an active shooter event, they would dispatch EMS along with law enforcement, not fire. And that took a lot of us as surprise, because fire provides an important element of manpower in the event you have to rescue people. And what they said is that it depends on what kind of a shooter event it is, what resources get dispatched. So somebody's waving a gun, and next way the call goes in, they might send a couple of officers and let them handle it. If they're saying that they shot a couple of people, well, they'll send the officers and they'll send an ambulance. Now, for a school, it didn't elevate to the point where you also dispatch fire department. So we had a big conversation on whether that could be added. In the meantime, we did ask EMS is if you ever go on an active shooter drill, make sure that fire gets dispatched as well, request them through Dodge County if that's the issue. The other one is we need to get all our personnel trained in the rescue task force concept, and that is shooter's neutralized or corner is neutralized. Doesn't matter if he's dead or cornered someplace. Then where the wounded are, you have to have law enforcement escort teams in that are comprised of EMS and fire to go rapidly to those injured people, get them on a blanket, do just some very critical interventions and haul them out to where they go into the triage area. And it takes some special training. And I don't believe there's any members in EMS. Maybe there might be a couple in fire that had gone through that. But the last time that had been done, gosh, that must have been around the year 2000 or so. So the group is due to do that. And also the one big item that the school is always warning us about if an event happens during the start of school or the end of school, there's going to be a huge number of parents that are going to get in the way, if you want to call it. They're going to want to be there. And how do you handle that kind of an issue? So and part of that is the school and part is going to be like law enforcement, how that might happen. Because initially, the first few law enforcement people that come into an event like that are going to go in to neutralize the shooter. And also you have all these people, going around and, you have to wait for other officers to get to the city in order to help control that. So that's one of the areas I want to also have to cover. But things like who's law enforcement in command, if you've got the police chief in there with the initial group of law enforcement, who's going to assume charge there? Are you going to be using unified command or singular command? Those are some things we didn't explore. So I think it would be very beneficial for all the parties if we went through that one more time and try to hit those topics that didn't even come up in the first exercise.
Any questions for Warner?
In my report.
Well, nowadays, critically important, with the immediate response because social media travels so fast. I mean, they had an incident at the high school, and this was like 2 years ago. My granddaughter goes to school in Dodgeland, and she knew it before a lot of the responders. Some kid texts her, "Hey, this is going on in Horicon." She texts me, and I mean, they hadn't even called the people, to finish calling the responders out yet. These kids are texting.
Very true. And I think those, the kids are going to be texting their mothers.
Oh, yeah.
Very quickly, and all of a sudden, oh my God, I'm getting up to the school.
Oh, did you ever see some of these incidents in Milwaukee? It's a zoo immediately.
Big challenges. Aaron, do you have any comments about the drill or?
Yeah, it's done very well. I agree, we should do it again. We could do that scenario every time. Because that's the one that makes the news every time. You're hearing about, 1 month at least. So, yeah, I think we should do it again. Yeah. But I think you did a good job. It was well thought out, well planned.
Okay, that's my report.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next for my report, I know there's not a lot of department heads here today, but thank you to the department heads for getting their requests in for budget timely and, actually submitting realistic budgets for this year. I appreciate it. I also want to thank the Baker Tilly folks in the back and Ehlers for their assistance, for getting us caught up to where we need to be, and for the training you've given our staff, so thank you. And then last, welcome to Chrissy, she's here now. Thank you to you and Chris and your staff for getting the budget done. And been a hell of a lot of work the last 27 days,
Including weekends.
including weekends, so thank you very much. That is my report. So next on the agenda, we have act on past due invoices. Forrest.
So I'm gonna make a motion to change in invoices for the 2024 and the 2023 rookie farmland rental seasons to be adjusted in the amount of $2,500 for each season.
Second.
Any discussion? Anything you want to add?
So what you're saying is paid in full?
We're adjusting the invoice, which means there would be a zero balance on it after this is complete, after this goes through.
All right.
Any other questions?
The only comment I want to make, and that's, I looked at a lot of this stuff for a while, and unfortunately, things you can't change is that there was a breakdown from the city of Horicon to Mike's Astro along the way. Some of the stuff that should have been handled better was put in a file and set off to the side, so I hope we can be happy about our results, but in the future, be a little bit more careful when we're doing these sort of things, have written documentation and follow through with it.
And being in my position, I apologize. I mean, no matter what anyone else does, the buck stops with me, so, sorry.
Okay. I don't think it's just your fault. I think the severe lack of communication amongst everybody involved. It wasn't just you, it wasn't anybody in particular, but nobody stayed in contact with me. Somewhere along the line, communication lacked.
And we recognize that.
So maybe the next land renter you got, you can stay in contact with them better and try to improve.
Absolutely. Great. Any other comments or discussions? All right, Doc, please call the roll.
Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Bryce,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Marie. Aye.
Next, we're acting on the 2026 Humane Society contract. Xavier Forrest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is a motion to approve the 2026 Humane Society contract in the amount of $5,500 for it's 40 pets was the count.
Second.
And the year to date, Chris has got a number in there. You see it in your packet. They've collected 21 pets, strays for animals this year so far.
Is the price the same for a dog and a cat?
Yeah.
It's just animal.
It's just number, yeah. And the threshold before the 55 is 20. So once you pass that, it's $50 an animal.
Did anything else with the contract change from last year?
It's kind of one of those things, what do you do if you don't? If you decide,
Oh,
if you don't want to do it, what do you do? You know, there's a
Yep.
secondary option. There's none really, so.
Maybe you could catch the cats.
Take my Christian dogs.
Yeah, bring them all to my
Dogs will
house.
eat 'em.
Bring them all to my house.
Keep that in mind.
On that wonderful picture in my head,
Right?
is if there's not any other comments, we'll call the vote.
Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Marie. Aye. Bryce.
Aye.
Next, we'd be acting on the disposal of equipment for DPW wastewater, police and fire department.
Make a motion to dispose of equipment from DPW wastewater, police and fire department with Wisconsin surplus online auctions. Items attached in your packet.
Yeah.
Second.
All right, discussion. There was a request from Kikoski to buy that
Yeah.
truck directly. I didn't hear that in the motion. But I heard surplus.
They still really want to buy it. They basically, one of their fire engines, the door is broken at the moment. There's no window in it. They're having troubles finding parts for it. They have two of these Acteras. They were only made for 2 years, I believe.
So, you left it on there. I got it.
Yeah, I hadn't modified that because I didn't know how to council was going.
Yeah, I didn't even see that. I know we talked about it and I thought we were just pulling it off the list. So item number 3
Yes,
would be from away from off the list.
yeah, and I would ask for direct disposal to the Kikoski Fire Department. With that truck, I did try to find in short notice here, like somebody that can do an appraisal on it. I wasn't able to do that. What I can tell you is I personally feel like that's a fair price for it. And when we went to purchase our new Peterbilt that replaced this, they wouldn't even take it as a trade-in. So it kind of tells you the value. These are they're not sought after. I'm sure I think I've said they're definitely not a sought after vehicle because they're
What was the amount? What was the amount?
$4,000.
So that, it's in the beginning of the back page.
You move to amend?
Hmm?
You move to amend the.
Yes. Removing item number 3 from the list. The Sterling truck, plow truck.
And it needs a second.
I agree to that.
All right. Any other questions for Cody on the equipment? Or if not, clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Marie, aye, Bryce.
Aye.
All right, next we're acting on the toy box policy. Bryce,
I'll make a motion to approve the public park toy box policy.
We need another motion before we move on about the disposal
Oh, yeah.
For the
to sell
truck.
to Kikoski correctly.
yes, yes,
Sorry.
So moved.
Second.
apologies.
And that's based on the letter that's in the thing for $4,000 to Kikoski.
Roger. And clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Marie, aye, Bryce.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, Bryce.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion on the toy box policy?
Bruce, anything that we had semi-discussed this, anything that was different from that discussion?
No, Linda and Mike Kane were there at the Parks Board. The only thing they asked, I originally had it down to 3 parks. They asked for Rotary and Bowling Green to be included. And then the only thing I modified was where I mentioned chalk. We also listed other writing materials, so that way Sharpies and pens were included. But they were fine with it. There was no other changes.
Seems like you covered all the possible bases that
Yeah.
one could think of, so.
And we added the part that they are not liable if someone hurts another
Yeah.
kid with it.
You sure you want Sharpies in there?
That's fine. No, Sharpies are
Not
not.
Sharpies are not,
included.
no writing materials.
Oh.
I thought there was.
Chalk and no.
I
writable
misunderstood how you said that.
I know, he was just saying, making
I got
Sharpies
you.
as an example of nothing else besides chalk.
Any other questions for Bryce? All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Bryce,
Aye.
Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Marie, aye.
All right, this is one of the new things on the amended agenda. We're acting on a request for exemption from the Dodge County Library Tax.
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? This is a yearly thing. All right, Matt, please call the roll.
Marie, I'm sorry, Bryce,
Aye.
Marie, aye. Lisa,
Aye.
Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine.
Aye.
All right, number 19 is acting on the request for the 2025 budgeted funds from the Oak Hill Cemetery Association.
So moved.
Second.
This is the second half of their budget for the year, right?
Correct.
Yep. Any discussion? All right, please call the roll.
Bryce,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Forrest,
Aye.
Marie, aye. Lisa,
Aye.
All right, next we have operator licenses. Marie,
make a motion for operator licenses for 1 year for Felicia Rowan, Daniel Strife, and Brenda Galnick.
Second.
any discussion?
These are all approved by the chief.
All right. Please call the roll.
Marie, aye. Forrest,
Aye.
Jim,
Aye.
Christine,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Bryce.
Aye.
Next we have a 2-year. Marie,
So for the 2-year, this one was not approved at public safety and the chief did not approve this one, so it failed at public safety. But I'll make a motion to, for a 2-year license for Thomas Doherty.
I'll second.
Any discussion other than what's been shared? All right, now, please call the roll.
Marie,
No.
Bryce,
No.
Lisa. No. Horace,
No.
Jim,
No,
Christie. No.
All right, next we have our friends from Baker Tilly giving a financial statement presentation. They handed you some information up front. Welcome, Tyler.
Thank you. Thank you guys for having me tonight. My name is Tyler Smith. I'm with Baker Tilly. I've been with the firm for 6 years. I'm a senior manager. I have my colleagues Maya Keaton and Scott Finley with me. We've been working with Baker Tilly has been working with the city for decades, but my team, we specialize in cities that have turnover or system conversions. We've been working with the city for about a month now. We were here a couple months ago, did a preliminary finding. So I wanted to just introduce myself to the group first and just give an update on where we're at, where we're heading. And then I have on the backside, just a quick cash balance. I don't think you guys have seen financials in quite some time. So far, we've done your bank reconciliations. So I think the last time that you guys seen it, it was through March. I had some issues tying back. So we started with the audited financials as of December. So we've reconciled January through August of 25. During that time, we've been taking notes of processes that could be improved. I want to stress the previous processes weren't wrong, but we did a lot of things or the city has done a lot of things that was 2-3 steps that could have been done in one. So that's where we're headed. We're trying to streamline processes. A lot of the processes were done on paper outside the system. So we don't believe that the city is currently using the system Cassell to its full capabilities. That's where we want to head. We want to do the bank recs in the system, not outside the system. We're going to do some documentation in the system, not outside the system. This will streamline processes. We've also, this week, a heavy lift was helping the city with the budget, reviewing revenue estimates, going through expenses, making sure that the budget looks good. Looking forward, we want to get the September 2025 reconciliation done as soon as possible, get that in front of you guys. We also need to review the 2024 journal entries that were done outside the system. During the processes, there was money being put into one fund. Essentially, your general fund was being used as a pool cash. And at the end of each month, there was journal entries to move the general fund money to other funds. So right now, the city, we feel comfortable and confident that as a whole, on the macro level, your cash balances are reconciled. But we want to spend some more time going fund by fund and making sure that on the micro level, you guys have good cash balances. And also, as I said, we want to get you guys into the system for more items, more processes. It just improves internal controls when you have it in the system and having the sign-offs in the system. It improves the transparency, having it print out straight from the system that you can't alter versus having it on Word. Like I said, I don't think any of that was happening previously, but it's just a strong internal control to have, having reports printed from the system versus done in Word or Excel. On the second page, so these are your fund by fund cash balances. I put together an August cash balance statement and a year-to-date cash balance statement. On the year-to-date cash balance statement, you'll see you guys have a net change of negative 4.3 million. So last year, the city budgeted for 3.3 million of bond proceeds. And then there's also a CDBG grant that is estimated to get $1 million back in reimbursements. So I just want to highlight, it is 4.3 million showing negative at the moment, but we have a logical and reasonable answer to that. There's bond proceeds that need to be done, and there's grant reimbursements that need to be done. So I just want to stress This negative 4.3 isn't a red flag. There is an answer behind it. With that, I'd like to open it up to you guys if you have any questions for me.
I just have a statement. Thank you again. Thank you. It's been, I mean, even the fact that you came here, and they're gonna be here Thursday. They'll be willing to help out with some of the questions. Just, this is a lot of our first times, doing this, so they'll be here to help on Thursday night as well. If anyone has any questions, though, here inside the council, here's a good time.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
As far as going forward, what do you guys want to see for financial reports? Because like Tyler and I have been talking, the Word document that we received in the past, do you want, like he was talking, we can generate a report from the system. How detailed do you want it to be? Do you want a summary of funds?
I think we would like to see what options are available as far as what we would like to take as far as turning on. If we want like department wise or personal finance, I may want to see it more granular in the department, whereas council, they probably just want to see it as a city overall. So I guess no understanding what the options are, so we know
Okay.
to focus in on.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna suggest, looking at more of the detailed level at committee level and then something broad, like, this for council level.
Even for the other committees, like for DPW or
Yeah.
parks, that they have a statement for their specific area, they'll have a better understanding of what they're working with.
We can
Does that make
absolutely-
sense?
Yes, 100%. And it falls in line with what Paul previously said originally with detailed ledgers at a committee level.
So I think that'll help the department heads know where they stand too, right? Not just,
Yeah, to see the big picture.
because if we're keeping up to date with all of this, you should all know exactly where you're at any given point, right?
It'd be nice to be able to see where we were at last year at that time too. You know what I mean? Like, where were we at last year? Where were we at this year? Because the budget, at least my budget, doesn't change a whole lot from year to year. It goes up a little bit. But it'd be nice to say like, oh, okay, I'm right in line with last year. I know how much we can spend on this or that.
We
That
can
possible.
create those reports right in the system.
Should be able to.
One thing I like with my financial system at work is I can see like month or through the month, year to date, and then what percentage of my budget I've used. I wouldn't mind seeing something like that.
Yep.
Um,
That would be in that report too. Right off the system.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's pretty customizable, so if that report's not in there currently, I'm almost positive Doug would be able to assist with us.
All good requests. Anything else for Tyler?
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Next, we have acting on the bills for October 1st.
Motion to approve the bills for October 2025 in the amount of $682,565.12.
Second.
You always.
Forrest.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Lisa.
Aye.
Marie.
Aye.
Bryce.
Aye.
Before we set the next meeting date, I'm just going to announce we're not going to be going into closed session. We talked with Ben Rohr today. He doesn't want to do this until Cody and I have the appraisal done, and that's not done. It's since it's commercial, it's a little more in-depth. So Ben will come once we have the deliberating terms. However, in your packet, you can see the grant award that came from the county. So once we get the appraisal and those numbers, we'll have this again. So now we can please set, you guys pick the next meeting date for November, please.
25th? Tuesday before Thanksgiving?
Yeah, that's what I had on my calendar. I assumed-
Does anybody have issues?
It's just, it has been moved other years.
Yep.
But if everyone's cool, November 25th, let's, someone make a motion, please.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Any other comments on that? All right, clerk, please call the roll.
Forrest.
Aye.
Christie.
Aye.
Jim.
Aye.
Lisa. Aye. Marie.
Aye.
Bryce.
Aye.
Excellent. Jim, can we adjourn?
Yeah. like to make motion to adjourn.
Second.
Put this on the.
Jim,
All right.
Cory,
Aye.
Christie,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Marie,
Aye.
Bryce.
Aye.
We are done. I'm gonna end screen.
Yeah, so, yeah.
November